Hey everyone, welcome back to another war video. This one, war number 5 of season 43, for Loki taking on Chaos. You can see I have Apoc is back, Cable's there for the synergy, and Valkyrie will be making her, I believe, YouTube debut. I don't think I've used her in war since I've started recording. So I'm on path 6 here to start. I will be taking this Killmonger. This is a 7-star rank 2 Killmonger. So this node has aggressive prowess, so he gets a passive prowess every so often, and then I get guaranteed crits if I end my combo the same way. So Killmonger, pretty tanky. He takes a little bit to make sure you can KO him. The big thing with Killmonger is you want to play around his reverb as best as you can. So with his reverb, it goes on a cooldown, and then the reverb is always based on the amount of power he has. So the lower of power when it starts, the less reverb damage you actually take. So I do have, I'm using Apoc and, mutant boosts and all that fun stuff. And I throw the special 1 here just to get the full 4 debuffs on. There's not really much to say about this fight. As long as you can kind of manage the reverb, then Killmonger's not too terrible. He just takes a little bit, and as long as you don't get caught by one of those leaping special 2s. But here, I throw a special 2, and that's that. So I played around the reverb relatively well. I did have I believe, a combat regen on as well to help manage that, but nothing too terrible there. Next fight is going to be by far the most difficult fight of this war. It's going to be Sassy on node 26. So this is a rank 2 Sassy. I'm using Apoc, so this is the hazard shift node. I went back and forth on whether I wanted the recoil masteries on or not. I ultimately decided against it because I knew that I'd be throwing a lot of specials in this fight. Because Sassy just takes forever to KO. So I could have put the recoil masteries on for the Killmonger fight, picked up the bleed immunity beforehand. Instead, I figured I would pick up the bleed immunity here in the fight. The main thing that I want to do here is I want to get all 4 debuffs on, and then I want to throw a special 3. That's very different than most Apoc war fights, because most Apoc war fights are just get the special 2 and then they die. Sassy's got like 12 bazillion health, so that is not the case here. So really what I want to do is I want to get all 4 on. I want to get the special 3 so that when I throw the special 3, it locks all 4 of the debuffs in, and it locks them in at double the potency. The big one for that is the concussion. The concussion becomes a 70% concussion, and that makes a huge difference. So I want to have that locked in for the last 40%, so I don't have to deal with as much regen. Here you can see I almost let the special 1 debuffs fall off, which would have been not great. But I was able to just get a heavy in towards the end of his wrath, and able to reset the debuff. So here I just want him to throw a special, his special 2. It would be very nice if he would. He doesn't, so I decide to just say, you know what, Sassy doesn't hit that hard anyway, and I have a 33% special 3 reducer on, so let's just push him to special 3. That'll push me to my special 3. I can then lock in my debuffs, and we can kind of reset the fight. So you can see, it does a decent chunk, but Apoc able to hold on with quite a solid amount. I throw my special 3, I lock in all 4 debuffs. You can see this special 3 actually does a lot of damage. You can see from 54% down to 38%. So it was a 60,000 special 3, which is pretty crazy. So he was in wrath from his throwing a special 3. But you can see the concussion turns off the passive unstoppable there from Wrath. Didn't turn that one off. But, Sassy has a pretty good chance of getting his regens on hits while he's in that last 40%. But you can see here the special 2 is enough there to to do it. So Sassy can be pretty annoying there, but Apoc is a pretty viable option. But that'll do it for Apoc. It's just going to be Valk for the last 2 fights here. I'm on path 9. I have Wong here. So this is also a hazard shift, and this is one-eyed open. Wong can be pretty annoying on this node because any sort of stun immunity or quasi-stun immunity where you don't want to stun him can be pretty annoying because Wong can throw those heavies. You can go passively unstoppable. But Valkyrie doesn't care about any of that. Valkyrie also does not care about the hazard shift node because my plan is just hit his block. You can see I don't, I don't punish the special one. I'm just waiting for him to kind of back up, and then I go hit his block. You see he gets the passive unstoppable, but it doesn't matter because I have a max sig Valkyrie. So as soon as I have one pierce debuff or one pierce buff on, she treats unstoppable opponents as if they're not unstoppable. The only thing that I have to keep an eye on in this fight really is his mystical charges, the Eldritch charges. So it's at 37 right now. If he gets up into the 90s, I need to make sure to throw a heavy. Otherwise, I'm going to lose a whole bunch of damage. The debuff damage won't be as much as the heavy damage. So I just need to worry about that. But you can see here, he's at 70 right now. I'm about to get to my special 2, but he burned a bunch of them with his heavy charge, I believe. So now I'm at my special 2, just a matter of, need him to back up. I throw a 5 combo here into the special 2, and that does a good amount of damage. Not quite enough to KO, but a lot. And then he just kind of sat there, and I was waiting for him to dash at me. He didn't, so I go in, I finish the fight, and that was a true 0-0 fight. Didn't get hit, didn't hit him, and no damage taken. It's always nice to have a no damage taken fight in war. So that was pretty fun. And then next fight is going to be Thing. Valkyrie is arguably the best Thing counter in the entire game. I do have the Wong crossfight on, so you can see he does start with a power gain and a passive fury. Not really too concerned about it. It is what it is. Again, this game plan is the same exact game plan as I had before. I'm not trying to hit him. I'm just trying to wait until he backs up and then hit his block. So the other thing, obviously, with Valkyrie is, you don't have to really worry about the unstoppable. So if I do slip up and accidentally intercept him or something when he's over his rock stacks, not going to matter. But this is, again, the same game plan as the last one. Just hit his block until he drops. So it's not exactly, the most exciting fight to watch, but Valkyrie is very, very effective for a lot of these hazard shift nodes because she doesn't have to actually hit them, so she can get around the hazard shift that way. Apoc could have also done this. He had the bleed immunity. So, there was a small part of me for a second that thought, well, why don't I just bring Odin and then I can drop an Odin buff on, and then I'll get the shock basically immunity with the bleed immunity, and then he can just do it. And he can, but there's really no point to because Valkyrie is the best option for Wong and for Thing here. So just a really easy fight. Just wait until he backs up, hit his block. So, here I'm going to do a 5 combo into the special 2. You can see that does a good amount of damage. I think he actually perfect blocked one of them, which is kind of funny. But then, this last... I was going to go for that last one, but I didn't think I was going to do enough for the 5. So I do actually technically hit him 1 time. But Valkyrie, very, very strong for both of those fights. But that does it for me for that war. So 4 fights. Got through all of them clean. 26 on the season now and a streak of 31. In terms of the war itself, we did drop this one. So again, our rough start continues. We are now at 1-4 and holding fast in Platinum 1. So hopefully we can bounce back here down the stretch of the season, as we approach the midway point. But that will do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see everyone soon.